crispy.
Ugh.
Ow. Ow. I just hit myself. Oh, no.
Hey, everybody. What's up?
Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Best of Five. I just slapped the shit out of my hand. That really hurt. God damn. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Best of Five. Sorry for the small hiatus. We took a couple weeks off because I was, in a panic. Still am in a panic in a little bit of ways.
Aren't we all?
What's up? Aren't we
we
all?
all?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm so tired of living in these unprecedented times that we live in. Dude, so I just want to share what happened between 2 weeks ago and today. I'm going to EVO.
All right.
Yeah. I'm going to be working EVO, so I don't know like what I'm going to be able to do aside from working at EVO, but I'll be working. I'll be there. Honestly, goal achieved. So I'll see everybody there. So like, man, I don't know. I like the week, like this lead up to it. Like I'm like my anxiety's at an all time high because I also have another freelance gig tomorrow. So which is why we had to do the show tonight. And I'm like, I'm losing my shit, but at least I can pay rent. So, hooray!
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
Yep.
I just kind of it just hit me that EVO was gonna be next weekend, and I looked at the brackets and I was like, oh man, I'm starting to get excited. I won't be going, but I'm gonna be great. I'm gonna be happy watching it.
For sure. No, also automatic. Thank you for using your Prime on the show of the Best of Five. I appreciate it. I'm sure everybody in the chat appreciates it as well because having you here always makes the show better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we got a lot to talk. We got a lot to talk about today, and I said this was going to be a shorter episode. So let me start the timer, as it were. We're going to be on the 1 hour timer.
You know, when you said having me on the show is makes it easier and it's a pleasure, or whatever. I was about to stick my tongue out and do that whipping lash movement. I was gonna be a real degenerate. I don't know what came over me.
Dude, do it, man. Look, if there's one thing about having a smaller show where we don't have sponsors or anything, is we can do whatever the fuck we want. We can say fuck and we can say shit, and everything's fine. Nobody dies.
Tiddlywinks and dingling fart face.
Dingling fart face. Absolutely. But before we get on with the show, I just want to do the life update since we haven't been on here for a while. This past weekend, it was a big weekend for me. On Saturday, we had Lost in the Sauce 2, which is the Tekken Regional or the Tekken Monthly here in Austin. It was part of the Cuddle Cup, which is the invitational that Cuddle Core is doing here in Texas along with Red Bull. And it's going to be, there's 4 qualifiers. Lost in the Sauce, which was this past weekend, was the first one. There's going to be one in San Antonio, one in Dallas, and one in Houston. And then on top of that, 4 other players that will receive invites through Cuddlecore will be joining the bracket. So whoever the 4 qualifiers are will enter the invitational along with those 4 invitees. It's going to be really exciting. And honestly, man, going to a local again was so much fun, man. I had a blast. One of the sponsors was Top Notch, which is a hamburger shop here in Austin, which is pretty cool. And they just had free food. And honestly, even on stream, I was just chowing down, man. It was a blast. It was a dang old blast.
Did you do any commentary? I like when you commentate. You have a good voice for it. Don't let the world tear you down. You need to commentate more.
Oh, well, I was doing commentary. I think I disagree as far as me having a good voice for it, though. But hey, man,
you do.
I have fun. Something that I was really grateful for. So the TOs are UGK for Life and Blasphemous Black. Saucy FGC, if you follow them, they're relatively new. I think they started TOing just before the pandemic came on, and then once the pandemic hit, they took a break, and then they started ramping up the TOing stuff again, and they're doing such a nice job. I don't know, you've been to a lot more regionals and locals and tournaments than I have, so I wanted to ask, have you ever been to a tournament that had a free open bar?
No, not open. Not a free open. No.
Free open bar.
Of adjectives and verbs and syllables and whatnot. No, it's always been a paid, but how did that go? Free open bar.
Dude, it was sick. They got a third. It was a spot an alcohol or a beer sponsor from a company called Third Brewing here in Texas. It was awesome. The bartender was really nice. We had the food from Top Notch, which was also free for like they had free food for the attendees. It was sick. Red Bull, there was Red Bull everywhere. It was awesome, man. And what was really funny is like we were setting up the tournament, and I just turned to the person running the stream and the head TO UGK, who's a good buddy of mine. And like I just saw the stream on a break, and I was like, "Hey, can I just sit down and start interviewing people?" They were like, "Yeah, do whatever you want." So I sat down and I interviewed Trojan, who had won the previous tournament for Lost in the Sauce. I sat down, I interviewed Joe Crush, who was the person who wound up winning and qualifying. Wound up interviewing a couple of the local talents. So shout outs to them for just letting me run wild and just do wacky shit. It was awesome. It was awesome. So I just wanted to shout them out because that was sick.
Yeah, I recognize UGK for life.
Yeah. I
recognize that name. I think I've seen him in my stream before.
Yeah,
maybe even subbed.
Yeah, he's a stream monster for sure. He pops in every once in a while. I've seen him hang out at the James Chen stream as well. So he knows what's going on, and he's super passionate about the FGC, man. I'm proud of that guy. He's really been like ramping up and like making an event that is so fun to go to. Even like I didn't even play this time around, and it's in an art gallery, so it's like a super interesting venue. There's like super interesting shit to look at, and on top of like the great Tekken, you know. So I don't know, man.
How many attendees? Just about.
I think there were like close to 50 people that entered.
That's really good for a local.
Good. Yeah, no, it's really, really good. And there were people from Trojan, who was the person who won the first Lost in the Sauce, came back. He is from Dallas. There was Joe Crush, who's from San Antonio. There was Black Pharaoh from Houston, and there was like all the Austin representatives. So we had like one of each, or there was like representatives from every major city in Texas. It was really cool. It was really nice. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was really fun. I had a good time. I feel like I need to go to locals more now. I feel like I have to go to locals more every time I talk about locals, and then life. But yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to share a little bit of that up at the top of the show because that was really, really fun. And I had a great time. So big ups to UGK, Blasphemous Black, everybody that was at Lost in the Sauce #2. It was pretty good. All right. It was pretty good. Automatic, what you been up to?
Man, just being a dad and thinking about playing Street Fighter 6, but Bison kind of freshened it up a little bit, but that kind of wore off. So I'm thinking like, and there's a lot of cheaters in ranked and a lot of poop faces in general. So I've been playing like casual matches, and that's about it, man. Just
big chilling. Big chilling.
Yeah, I did some side gig work last week. That was fun. Nice. Pretty much, I had to do some extra dad duty, so that's pretty much what I've been up to, man. Just
for sure.
Being a family man, good.
Family man looks good on you. It seems like you're having a good time every time you post a picture with you and your daughter.
Definitely. There's been like a month ago, I looked at myself while I was streaming, and I'm like, dang, I look old now. I don't look like somebody who's in their 30s but looks 20. I look like I'm in my 30s. I look like somebody who is a dad.
When we had Tento a couple of weeks ago on the show, he said something that I think like really resonated with me, and it's like really important, and I wanted to share it here, is that we're always going to be the first person to pick out the pimples on our faces, because we see each other and we see ourselves in the mirror every time, anywhere we are, but nobody else will. And even if they do, they're going to be polite and not tell you about it. So we'll just pretend they don't know. Right. So all this to say, it's like we're our own harshest critics. And I think you look like a handsome, strapping young man.
Why, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Sleep deprived, low energy, back hurts, strapping young man.
Dude, at the gym today, I'm starting to do split squats with a barbell on my back. And I could not walk today. I had a rough one, man. Like, when you're like... When you get like that really good leg workout where your knees just feel like they're gonna buckle at any moment, it's like, damn, man.
Yeah, I've had those days where I get home and I have to use the walls to get to my room so I can lay down permanently.
Yeah. No, and it's like I'm so sore that like I called off the gym for tomorrow because I have to get on the plane on Wednesday, so I want to make sure my legs work.
Called into the gym like I'm not gonna make it today.
Yeah, I told I work with a personal trainer, so I was like, my personal trainer is like one of the most badass women I've ever like met, and like literally anything I'm like, man, I'm having some issues with my elbow. She'll be like, think fixed. Like she knows so much about like the muscle structure and everything of the body, and she's so like talented. I don't know. But anyway, all this to say, I'm hurting. So, and we're on a timer. So let's get into it. Before we get into the EVO stuff, I wanted to share this trailer that came out this morning from the folks over at NetherRealm Studios for Mortal Kombat, and it is the final, the final Combat Pass character, Takeda, who was a big name in Mortal Kombat 10.
All right, let's take a look, Shay. Yeah, Shay. Mortal Kombat, Shay.
Yeah, yeah. Look at this guy. That's Scorpion's son, I think, which is crazy. But what was really interesting is last week, Ed Boon took to Twitter and made like an 8-page thread or an 8-post thread about what they're like the game plan for Mortal Kombat moving forward, and they're going to be buffing a lot of characters. They're going to be like reworking a lot of these cameos. And also, Takeda already kind of looks like he's going to be a big problem, which is awesome. Like, he has an air grappling hook for a double jump. That shenanigans is going to be crazy.
Oh, a little bit like Spencer.
Yes. Yep, and I think coming up, we're going to see one of the things that Ed Boon was talking about.
Let's say I pair you with an archer.
As soon as the gameplay starts.
I don't want to be in some
Also, I just realized I'm in the wrong screen, so we'll just... Oh, damn it. I fucking ruined it.
What have you done? Where did we go?
Okay, wait. I just realized I clicked the wrong button.
Let's say I pair you
Okay, there we go. Gotta have the branding in there.
I don't want to be in some
Elon broke it. Flag on the play.
Here is one of the things they're gonna change about the cameos. Watch this. New cameo attack from Frost there with the ice wall. So that's a huge change. That's like an entirely new move that they're adding for that cameo.
Do you think they're gonna have variations? Is that where that's going?
No. So they're adding moves to the assists. Like, so they're giving assists more options, which is so sick.
He's gonna do more stuff.
Oh yeah. And here's another one. Cyrax, even when he trades, his bomb still drops.
Oh jeez.
Also, he's got like the Ibuki EX kunai from Street Fighter V, where he can throw the kunai on the ground and it explodes later. This is another buff here. 2 missiles for sector instead of just 1, so you can keep those combos going even longer.
They're really leaning into it. I feel like there's been some concerns about how the cameos work. And they're like, all right, you're going to like this.
Yeah, no, you know what I really love? What I really love is that they're doubling down on like the assist aspect of this assist fighter, and I can't wait to see all the crazy shenanigans we're gonna get. Anyway, here's his fatality.
My suspicion is
Bink. There you go. And that is the conclusion of the Battle Pass and the conclusion of Year 1 of Mortal Kombat 1. Dude, I think.
So,
go ahead.
I have a theory about Mortal Kombat now. This kind of inspired the thought, at least. You know, when a game first comes out, my wife is calling me. I'm so sorry. I need to take this call.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I got it covered. We'll go over the trailer here a little bit. So, like I was saying, some of the really impressive stuff, some of the things that I really like is that they are like really doubling down on like the wackiness of the game, you know? Like, whereas before it felt like they were kind of like tiptoeing around it, not really kind of going into it all that much. But now they're like really doubling down on like the assist fighter portion of it. Like, they're not shying away from having some stuff that's a little fucked up. And honestly, I think that's awesome.
So my thought was that when a game first comes out, that's when the most sales, arrive on release, and then after that, it kind of the more hardcore competitive and people who really love it, they'll stick around and keep playing. But I think they don't really care about the hardcore competitive. They want to keep maintaining that casual interested in fatalities, that kind of player base. So they just work on that and give you more stuff, and then the competitive players, they'll figure it out or
Hmm.
not, whatever. Doesn't really
Yeah.
matter that much. So they
And
just they just try to make it as cool as possible, I guess, for the layman, I suppose. Which
is
I guess there's nothing wrong with that, but
yeah, I was about to say honestly, I think that's the way it should be.
but in that way, it feels like they get lucky whether or not their game is fun to play competitively or not. But if that's just not their interest, then I mean, they're not gonna get it.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing too. I think to your point, I think they are putting there is a big focus on like the quote unquote casual audience, right? Because they have a lot of like the big thing about Mortal Kombat 1, and I feel like it's something that Warner Brothers has been forcing a lot of their games to do in Warner Brothers games. I'm not sponsored by Mortal Kombat, so I can talk a little bit of shit, even though I love Mortal Kombat and I love all the crew over there. I think Warner Games has been forcing their like the people who develop games for that publisher to like make it a live service game, right? We saw that with Kill the Justice League with the Suicide Squad, where it seemed like they had an idea for the game, and then about halfway through developing it, they were like, "Oh shit, we have to make this a live service game, so we have to switch up a bunch of things," and then it got delayed, and then it was production hell, blah blah blah. I think the same thing is happening with Mortal Kombat. Granted, I think they probably had a bit more lead up to that, where they're doing like the seasons, right? Where they have new costumes that you can get. That honestly, like the season costumes actually look really badass. I'm like super impressed with them. And there's I forget what they call it. Invasions. Invasions is the game mode, where it's like it's almost like a Mario, like a Super Mario thing, where you have the overworld and you're going through and you have to battle like each level. And there's like secrets and stuff. It's really cool, and they're making like a different thing every season for it. So that's like the live service aspect of it, and like the costumes keep like, in my opinion, like they're super duper interesting. I really like them, and you can keep unlocking them, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But what I'm really curious about is like what they're gonna do year 2, and something that Ed Boon has said was he pulled. Like literally on the Ed Boon Twitter, he pulled and he asked, like, what do you guys want? Do you want more cameo fighters? Do you want more cameo fighter moves? Do you want more characters? A lot of people have said they just want more cameo fighters. So more assists.
Yes.
Which is really cool. And I'm really liking the way they're approaching it, because it basically the assists are, they just give your character like that one extra option, or that one extra like thing, right? So for example, we saw Farah. Her whole thing is like she gives the character a stance, right? Like there's the Farah stance where Farah hops onto the back of the character, and then it's like Farah Tor from Mortal Kombat X. You have Frost, who can like freeze you from fucking full screen because, you know, screw it. You have Serena, who can throw like 4 different projectiles on the screen to keep you in block stun or hit stun, so you can keep comboing. You have Cyrax, who now can lay those bombs and can like wrap you in the net. You have Sector, who can throw Doom missiles, right? So it's very interesting the way they're approaching it, and honestly, I think it's a lot of fun. And I don't play the game enough to where I'm like using assists properly, but like even when I'm playing and I'm like, oh shit, I can use this assist move here, and this helps do this, and I can connect this with that. It's so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah,
Like
that's the best. That's the best part of fighting games, when you're just good enough, but you don't really optimize or have the exact correct thing to do. When you're that learning phase is the most fun part. When you're way more forgiving of yourself to make mistakes.
Yeah, because it's not about the winning or losing. It's about just like, oh, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, and you don't even know what those mistakes might or might not be. So
Exactly.
it's like, oh, something happened. Oh, that was cool. That was cool. What they did was cool. And then if you play for like another month, you'll be like, man, that thing is cheap. I hate that thing that I saw a month ago.
Yeah, and to Shayan's point, there are a lot of bugs, right? Like it's a little bit of a buggy mess. There's one specific bug that has been happening. I think they might have fixed it by now, where if you're playing Homelander, which was the previous character, which by the way, I think they did that character hella justice because he's really cool. The camera desyncs. So like you'll be battling, like you have player 1, player 2, and you're battling blah 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 blah. And like say the camera is like where my face is, and you're like blah 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 blah. And there's something happens with Homelander where like the camera desyncs, and then the players like the camera just moves over, so you'll still have the fight and it's happening off screen, and the camera's just like looking around, and it only happens online. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's so funny. It's so funny. But yeah, so there's still a lot wrong with the game, but the fact that they're like actively working on it, and that Ed Boon is like very clear about what their game plan is and like what they're going to be focusing on, et cetera, is really, really cool. So shout outs to the NRS folks. Are you going to pick up MK1 at all? Or is it still like no. just out of the automatic wheelhouse?
I got time for all that. Well, I saw it on sale during the Steam summer sale, and I'm like, nope, still not doing it.
Oh, speaking of Steam, by the way, did you see that there's a fighting game sale going on Steam right now?
Nope.
Yeah, it's a huge fighting game sale. I literally just saw it right before I hit the go live button, but a lot of fighting games are very, very cheap. Arxis has a ton of games that are super duper cheap. Capcom has a ton of games that are super duper cheap right now. So if you're into fighting games and you got yourself a PC with Steam, go check those out. You can get like a lot of fighting games for like 50 to 60% off right now. It's pretty sick. Pretty sick.
No, honestly, now that you mention it, maybe I will consider picking up Mortal Kombat 11, because it's so easy to have bias towards it and see a clip of something that you think it might be, but it actually isn't. But then it might end up actually being that. Yeah. Like I'm just thinking specifically about that assist with the bomb that doesn't go away.
Oh
like,
yeah.
That looks like it's that gives me a lot of shock value. Like, oh boy, they're doing this. But I don't really play the game, so maybe I could find a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Not. And maybe it's okay. Maybe everyone's, because I played Cross Tekken and there was a lot of people telling me that game sucked. I was like, no, it doesn't, because you don't know how to play it. But I'm outside my wheelhouse with NRS games a little bit. I got decent at Mortal Kombat 11, but it wouldn't be that bad of a project to actually see for myself what Mortal Kombat really is, and whether I think it's good or if it's fun or whatever.
Yeah. And I remember you were like trying out Tekken for a little bit. Like, I just see Mortal Kombat as like 2D Tekken, because like the combo system is so similar with the strings, right? Where you have like a bunch of you have a bunch of like 2 or 3 hit strings where you can like your job is to figure out which strings fit in whatever part of the puzzle of the combo that you're making. Honestly, I love that. And because it's a 2D game, like you have like it's a little bit easier than Tekken, right? Where like you have your like with Tekken, like you have your like wall splat combos, and you have your corner carry combos, you have your damage combos, you have your side steps, blah 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 blah. With Mortal Kombat, it's like you have your corner combos, you have your mid screen combos. You're having fun. Having a lot of fun. But yeah, Mortal Kombat 1. I don't know, man. I didn't expect myself to like it as much as I do. I'll be honest. I bought it and I was like, yeah, it's another Mortal Kombat game, blah blah blah. But every time I watch it, man, I'm having a good time. Having a ball. Next, I want to talk about the Tekken World Tour Finals format, because that was also announced last week. And I specifically wanted to bring this up to you because I'm curious of what your thoughts on these are. Because I know what my thoughts on these are, and I think this is badass because they're trying new stuff. And honestly, I'm all for trying new stuff. So
it's news. It's all news to me. I mean, when I think of Tekken, I just think of my friend who runs tournaments for Tekken. He loves Tekken. He like works with Atlanta, and he runs all kinds of tournaments in North Carolina. So I'm really interested for him to see, like, because I want him to be successful or continue his success.
Yeah. So here is how the Tekken World Tour Finals is going to work. They haven't announced when, where, or how yet. I'm assuming we're going to get that information at EVO, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Here is the overview. 20 players from the global leaderboard are going to get chosen, and 15 players from the regional leaderboard are going to get chosen, right? For day number 1, they're doing 4 groups of 5 players of global leaderboard qualifiers. So just the global qualifiers is day number 1. There's going to be 4 groups of 5, and out of those 4 groups, 8 people make it to the final day. This is going to be a 4-day event. It's the first time they're having a 4-day event for Tekken.
Round robin.
Yeah, so it's a round robin, 4 groups of 5 players for the global leaderboard. That's day number 1. Day number 2 is all of the regional leaderboard qualifiers, 3 groups of 5 players. So in the same vein, 6 people qualify out of those. That's day number 2. Day number 3 is when they're doing the last chance qualifiers. So if you were in the round robin groups and didn't make it through, you are allowed to enter the last chance qualifier. And out of those,
that's clever.
Yeah, out of that entire tournament, 2 people make it out. And that takes it to day number 4, where they were going to have a 16-person tournament. They say it's a double elimination tournament, but there's a big caveat here. And this is honestly like the one part that I find a little bit weird and I kind of disagree with. I want to get your take on it. On winner's side, the 8 players that qualified from the global leaderboard group on day number 1 are on winner's side. Loser's side is the people who qualified on the regional leaderboard and the 2 people from the last chance qualifier.
What?
So unless you qualify from the global leaderboard pool, you are down a set on the last top 16 on the final day.
What?
Yeah.
What? What does that do? What?
Yep. That's exactly my reaction. I'm so happy you're having it as well.
What? I'm trying to think of how, logistically, how does that work out? So if you're from the regional side, you automatically are going to the loser side. But what did you lose? The word doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you didn't qualify through the global leaderboard. And I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to like give the reward for people to qualify through the global leaderboard, right? Because honestly, like that's the hardest. Like you have to travel, you have to earn all the points, you have to do all the stuff. Like you're doing more work to qualify that way, right? However, I have a counterpoint to that. And I think, so if I pull this up again, if you look, the global leaderboard with the 8 players coming out of the group, you have the most chances to qualify from the global leaderboard. And I think that should be your reward. You know what I'm saying? Like you have the most chances to qualify into the top 16 final bracket through the global leaderboard. Instead, what they went with is if you qualify through the global leaderboard and you get the top 8, and you are one of the top 8 to make it out of the round robin pools, you get on winner's side, everybody else, loser side.
It's like superseding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're more than just like a first round seed, but there's people who are in loser side to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
That's really harsh. I guess what would maybe help me understand the reasoning is what are those qualification processes? What's the difference between global leaderboard and regional leaderboard?
So,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, the regional leaderboard is any event that is like a dojo event or if I'm not mistaken, a challenger event. Whereas the global leaderboard are like the big events. I think. I could be wrong about
tournaments,
that.
Combo Breaker CEO,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah. So with the dojo tournaments, depending on there's like I think it's like one person per region qualifies or something like that. Whoever's on like the top of the regional leaderboard are the people who get to qualify, and they're the ones that go into that regional qualifier group.
You know, it is a lot of players though. It is a lot of people that get a shot to compete. I mean, I guess judging by the chat, there's no determination of what the prize pool is yet, or where
they don't have any information on it just yet.
It's still a big opportunity for a lot of players, especially if there is a decent amount of money involved.
Yeah, I think genuinely
it just is kind of jarring to start in losers after you've won something.
Yeah, and
it seems like if you're qualifying through the regional leaderboard, you are already an underdog. It's like implied that you're like, I hate to say class, but you're lower class than people who won a major or got their points that way. So you're already behind, and it puts you further behind.
Yep.
Okay. But from a spectator's point of view, I think it can be pretty smart because logically, the people who are better are probably going to win the global tournaments. So they're going to have more screen time because they just have more matches available. There's going to be less matches on the loser side that can happen. Yeah. Or at least the player would potentially be on stream less coming from the loser side.
Mm-hmm. I guess if you look at it that way, that kind of makes sense. Maybe, I don't know.
That's the best way I think you can look at it.
Yeah,
but whatever. I mean, it's their tournament. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, no, I'm curious. Look, I'm down to be completely wrong. To me, I think this is a bad idea. However, I'm down to be completely wrong, right? And we won't know until we see it. So the one thing that I really love, and a lot of people have been responding very positively to, is the fact that the last chance qualifier is after the group stages. So if you didn't make it through the group stages, you get another chance.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that I'm a big fan. That I'm a big fan of. But yeah, anyway, that was the big news out of Tekken. Oh yeah, and I guess Lydia is gonna come out the week after EVO, the same day as Takeda does in Mortal Kombat 1. They're both coming out on the 23rd. So that'll be fun. But yeah,
This makes me think. That makes me think about announcements in general. But I don't want to get into what, because I don't even know what they would announce at EVO for anything this year.
Yeah, so we'll get into it a little bit later, but that's definitely like a talking point that I wanted to hit, because a lot of the things, it seems like announcements are happening a little bit backwards, where things are getting announced before EVO because they have playable builds of the things they're announcing at EVO. So like the project formerly known as L2XKO, they announced Braum this past week. He's going to be playable at EVO. I think there's going to be a build of Lydia playable at EVO as well. If I'm not mistaken, I don't remember if there was a Mortal Kombat build that's going to be playable with the new guy. But yeah, it's a lot of like announcements pre-EVO. So I'm curious. Shayon is saying Takeda's at EVO as well.
A Marvel 4 or CVS 3, that would be massive. I can't really think of anything else that would Terry in my footage. What else would there even be? I don't know. I don't want to steer the ship here. Sorry.
Yeah. No. We'll definitely be talking about that in a little bit. Before we do, this is a big year for EVO because this is the first time in a while that they changed venues. They're no longer at the Mandalay Bay this year. We're going back to the Las Vegas Convention Center. Not how it was before, mind you. It is the new wing of the Las Vegas Convention Center. Brand new space. Huge space. So the things that are super attractive about it are you no longer have to purchase a separate finals ticket. There is like an entire Sunday that you can also enjoy the show floor, whereas before they used to only have the show floor for Friday and Saturday. But now Sunday, it's not just the arena finals anymore. You can enjoy the convention as well. And there's going to be like a lot of community tournaments and a bunch of other stuff happening on Sunday as well. And I didn't quite like fathom how big the venue was until they released the floor plan, which I have right here. Check this floor plan out for EVO. So here's how this is going to work. On this side, the arena. Right? We have the genuine EVO arena. This is normal, right? Except it's right next to all of the tournament setups. Right. So I think there's less stream stations this year than last year. I think last year they had 9 stream stations. There's 7 this year, I believe. So we have on the top stage A, which I think is going to be Street Fighter stuff. We have stage B, which I'm assuming is going to be Tekken stuff over here on the right side. Stage C, which I'm assuming is, and then all the other games, right? I'm not going to guess which ones are which because I'm really bad at it. And then they have the main stage where they're going to have like that EVO showcase thing that they have been doing a couple years in a row, where they have developer panels, they have exhibitions, they have a bunch of stuff happening. So that's gonna be cool. They have the community tournament section here on the bottom, which is looking pretty good. They also have a dedicated cosplay area this year, which is also really dang nice. I don't know, man. Automatic, let me ask you this. What's your thought on like having people come cosplay at tournaments?
I got a problem with it. I mean, it attracts people to look at the excellent cosplay. It encourages a new type of person to enjoy the tournament and go there to show off their cool work. I don't know.
Yeah, no. I feel like it's a relatively new thing to go to a tournament to cosplay, right? But honestly, like I used to like kind of like just think it was whatever, but like every time I walk around and there's like people like with like actual like really good cosplays, like saw like a fucking Ramlethal walking around with the 2 swords, or like like a Terry who's got like the hat, or a Jamie who's got like the jacket and it looks really damn nice. Honestly, it's sick. Like seeing people like really like put their passion into like making these costumes and then like cosplay them and like have fun and like just walking around it is so sick. It's like another way for people to like participate in the community, and I think it's so cool. I think it's so cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I was going. I wasn't sure where the question was going, because like this, That felt pretty obvious to me.
Oh.
Like I don't think it could even be like what's even the bad part about it? I don't even.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
I
know.
think
Maybe
it's
it gets a
badass.
little lewd sometimes, but it's not really. Depending on who you ask, it's all right.
Man, it's not gonna. Nothing can get worse than the one booth at EVO last year where there were just tits everywhere. It was kind of rough. There was a booth, like one of the artist alleys booth. It was just like literally like top, like biggest ass print and just tits, nipples.
Jeez.
Scary. But anyway, let's keep going with this because speaking of booths and stuff, check this out. They have this entire area for booths. We have booths from Capcom, Riot, Cygames, SNK, the Chipotle Community Lounge, because, why not? Arc System Works has their own booth. WB Games is going to be there. Bandai Namco. They even have some booths that are TBA that I'm assuming they're going to fill with, whoever else wants to be there. What else do we have in here? Let's see. Paradise Arcade Shop, Tenno, Arcade Shock, the Sony PlayStation booth, the Red Bull booth, and the Comba booth are all like set, and they're like very like I think they're like the placement of them is really really cool because you have like the one section in the middle here, and then they're dispersed around like the casual free play area on the right here as well. Check out, speaking of casual free play, check out that arcade, dude.
Yeah, that's the thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. Look at that.
Dude, yeah, I saw a tweet from Rick. Saying that they have 16 trucks worth of arcade stuff coming in.
15 of them are super guns.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty crazy. Oh, yeah, Mean Scene saying the Crunchyroll booth isn't going to be blasting anime music all day. There was so to explain, last year there was a huge, absolutely massive Crunchyroll booth. Like I think it was genuinely like one of the biggest booths at the event, and they had the attraction for them is like they had DJs, so like they would just be like blasting music hella loud, and like you would walk by and like sometimes there'd just be people raving. It'd be so sick, like people were just like really into it. But yeah, it's like that booth all like really felt like a little bit of an outlier, but like I think Crunchyroll are the people who publish Street Fighter Duel, the phone game, so they had to be there. But like they had a bunch of really cool stuff. There was like a Jujutsu Kaisen like inflatable ball of like where I guess they were previewing something. I don't know. I'm not into anime, so that's not my thing. But like people seemed really interested in it. So, and honestly, seeing a bunch of people get really hype over music and just like hanging out and raving and vibing, I'm for it. And then, dude, the Artist Alley also gigantic this year. It's literally like the same size as all of the paid booths. So there's gonna be a lot, and then like they have a gigantic free play area along with the community tournaments over there on the side. Wait 1 second. What is this stuff over there?
It looks good.
What does that say? It's like D41. Where's D41? D41. Oh, yeah. The dark purples are games that'll be there. So yeah, there's a gigantic list of people who have a booth either for merch or for like showcasing like some indie games, indie fighters and stuff. Like Hidden Variable with Skullgirls is gonna be there. Aether Studios with their new Rivals of Aether is gonna be there. Udon has a booth. I saw where was it? There they are. Maximum Entertainment probably bringing Diesel Legacy. Along with Corrupt, 86, Hori, Nerds Clothing, Gamers Outreach, the entire like breadth of merch and stuff. So it's gonna be a good time. The floor plan looks damn nice. Also, speaking of Crunchyroll, by the way, we were talking about Crunchyroll earlier. They don't have a booth this year. However, there's going to be an EVO anime night this year, where Crunchyroll
anime.
Yeah, they're gonna show the Street Fighter 2 animated movie for EVO Anime Night. And honestly, Steve, you're in here. Steve always like every time we mention this, Steve is always like so keen to talk about the Chun-Li shower scene. So, Steve, I don't know if I'm really curious to see like what the audience reaction is gonna be with the Chun-Li shower scene. But yeah, I don't know, man. Look, it's all like, I don't know, dude. It looks gigantic, and I think the last Evo I saw you at was 22, right? I think that's when you went for Punch Planet.
Sounds about right. Nah, maybe before that. I feel like I've missed the past 2 Evos at least, so maybe it was 22, maybe 21. Hold on, maybe I can check my Evo medal for first place.
Go get it.
I ain't got a day for it.
But yeah, like the seeing somehow like Evo get bigger after the last 2 years is something that is absolutely wild to me. Like they announced that there's going to be 15,000 players as opposed to last year where there were 10,000 players. So
After changing venues too,
yeah,
like a non-factor. And prices, dude, it's probably more expensive now than it has ever been.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think the thing that's attractive about this year is that I think in general, I think it's a little less expensive if you always bought the arena ticket along with the entrance. So it is more expensive if you are just getting the tickets for Evo, but you no longer have to buy the arena finals ticket. You know. So and it's bigger, man. It's bigger. It's in a different spot. It's back where Evo's always been, at the Las Vegas Convention Center, which is so funny. And apparently what's that hotel? The Windgate, Endgate. I don't know, whatever that hotel is called, got like completely renovated. So
Squidly said the smell in there will probably kill someone.
you would think, right? I think I could make a really mean joke. I won't though. You would think, but what's really interesting about the Evo floor plan every year is like you'll run into the pockets, right? Much like any tournament, you're gonna run into pockets of sense of what you will imprint in your brain in the most negative way possible. But yeah. Mean Scene is saying like they'll miss the Mandalay Bay, even though it's a walk. You know what's unfortunate? The walk from the hotel I'm staying at to the venue is like a 20-minute walk, so it's like nothing's changed. Except now it's outside, so hooray. But yeah, it's they've announced like so much stuff as far as like the Evo showcase goes. They're gonna have like a bunch of panels. They're gonna have I saw there's gonna be a thing with Yipes and Justin Wong that's gonna be moderated by Esteban, and where they're gonna talk about Marvel 2, which is pretty cool. Actually, Capcom is gonna have a build of the Marvel Fighting Collection there, if I'm not mistaken. So people will be able to play that when they're there. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be good. We also have the stream schedule released, so for those of you interested in that stream schedule, we have it, and these are the 7 streams they'll be running this year. Evo is going to have the Evo showcase all day, and that's the stuff with the panels and stuff. Only one day this year. It's usually been 2 days. It's been on Friday and Saturday, but only one day for this year. Street Fighter 6 and Tekken have their own stream all day. Third Strike has its own stream all day from 10 a.m. until the end of the day. All Third Strike
people showed up. They better. They got over how many thousands?
Yeah, it's got over 1,000 entrants. Over 1,000 entrants for Third Strike. It's pretty crazy. And then you have the Mortal Kombat pools sharing with the Grand Blue Versus pools. You also have the Uni stream and the King of Fighters / Guilty Gear stream as well for Saturday. Or for Friday, I'm sorry. Saturday, we're going to have King of Fighters, Mortal Kombat 1, Uni 2, and the Third Strike top 6. So they're sticking with the top 6 formula this year. And then on Sunday, for final Sunday, we're going to have Grand Blue versus Guilty Gear Strive, and then Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 rounding it out. So it's going to be a wild year, I think. There's a lot that's going to happen at a very short time at EVO this year. I'm assuming
looking at that.
Oh, go ahead.
The schedule itself is making me kind of like, when does it start? I want it to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, right? Dude, honestly, like seeing one Third Strike stream for like 12 hours is really interesting. I don't think that's something I've seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, that might be the main thing I restream and then flip back to Street Fighter 6 whenever there's downtime or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they round out Saturday night. That's the final of the day. So I'm assuming that arena is gonna get packed for that, dude, because there's like so many people who are gonna be so interested to watch even if they didn't play. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Are you sad you're missing out on it, or nah? You just want to stay home? You're hanging out with the fam, not spend money.
I was thinking in my head earlier about, wow, I get so much for free. I can just watch it.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Wish I could do both, honestly. Be here for free and then go there and be able to wild out and money. Money is a delicate asset.
I wish it was like an RPG where you could just be like, hey, go chop down this tree, and then you just punch the tree over and over again. You bring them the tree blocks, and they're like, here's $800. That's not how it works in real life. Although sometimes it is. Depends on who you ask.
The perspective changes now that I've seen, like, it's close by. I am getting a little bit of FOMO because if you asked me a month ago and when I budgeted it, and at a very minimum, if I like perfectly time it'd be like $1,000 to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God dang, $1,000.
Yeah.
But if you ask me right now, it's like $1,000 ain't so bad.
Yeah. Honestly, like I said at the top of the show, if I wasn't going to work, I wouldn't be able to go. So, hooray for work.
Yep.
It means I won't get to enjoy it as much as I probably would if I paid my own way there. But you know what? I'll still be there, and that's fine. And honestly, working ain't that bad. Working ain't that bad. Speaking of not that bad, we gotta get some picks. We gotta do some picks because every tournament I always try to get at least 1 or 2 pizza bets in here, pizza/quesadilla bets. So, automatic.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how this is gonna work this year.
All right.
Top 3. We're going to each pick our top 3. I picked 4 games. I know you've in the past shared you're not too familiar with a lot of the other games, so I want you to pick 2 games. So you're gonna do a top 3 pick for Street Fighter 6, and you're gonna do a top 3 pick for Third Strike. If only one of us has a pick for a certain game, like for example, Third Strike, I don't have any picks for Third Strike, but you do. If you get it wrong, like if you get all 3 of them wrong, you're gonna owe me a pizza.
Dang it! I got some Corazon picks, man.
But with that said,
straight from the heart.
With that said, I'm picking 4 games, so you have more chances to win your quesadillas.
Ooh.
So
that pod's coming up.
So, let's start with Street Fighter 6. Who is your podium picks, if you will, your top 3?
Look, man, I think it's a fool's errand to pick 3 out of the many players who could potentially get up there. And when Daigo isn't even gonna make it 2 pulls.
Apparently, he made it. Apparently, he got it worked out.
Okay, the Day 0 tournament got figured out. He still might not make it out of pools. You never know these days. But I'm gonna go with what I want to see.
Yes.
That is Punk and Zhao Hai Grand Finals. I would love to see those 2 duke it out.
Sorry, who in Shanghai?
Punk.
Oh yeah.
And Zhao Hai.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And I'm gonna throw in Mena in there. You want to see him succeed sometimes. I think he's grown up. He's becoming a very talented and mature player these days.
Got it. Okay. You know who my picks are? They're not very Corazon picks.
Oh boy. Was it gonna be Tokido, and Tokido?
No. I actually did a lot of research to get these picks too.
Okay. All right. None of them gonna get it.
Gachi-kun, number 1.
Okay. Okay.
Angry Bird, who just won the mix-up this past weekend.
Sure.
Menardi.
Okay.
Those are the 3. So, for that, if you get more right, then I'll get you a quesadilla. If I get more right, you'll get me a pizza, and then we'll keep the tally going. we'll keep the tally going. So anyway, that's Street Fighter 6. So I have your picks here. You picked Punk, Xiaohai, and Mena. And I have Gachikun, Angry Bird, and Mena. So let's move on to Ace King Opsu picking Takedo, Mena, and Big Bird. Ooh, that'd be interesting. You know what, Steve? I'm gonna put you in this bet. You've just volunteered to bet. But automatic. Talk me through like what your picks for Third Strike would be. Like what are you thinking of that?
Man, I looked through the bracket and it was making me so happy. Just seeing all these names from the days of old. I saw Gutex and Combo Fiend in there. I was like, man, this is a beautiful thing. But I'm gonna pick 3 Japanese players.
Okay.
Some of them are like, maybe they play some goofy characters. Hayao is gonna be there. Hayao, who plays Hugo, one of the best Hugo players on the planet Earth. Top 2 easily. So he's gonna be up there. Tominaga, who was flown out by Justin Wong, Makoto player, who infamously can do the 100% stun on Chun-Li, which at a time was thought to be impossible. A player named Telesniper figured out how to do it. Then Tominaga was like, yoink, I'll do it consistently. Really hard to do. He can do it. And the third pick, another friend from Japan, one of Javitz's good friends. He's a young player, Issei.
Issei.
One of the best.
Issei, you say.
Plays Yon.
Nice. So, Hayao, Tobinaga, and Issei. Okay. Dude, I wish I had a single clue about Third Strike, but I do not. That's unfortunate. I was gonna try to like maybe make a pick, but I was like, dude, the only person I know who's really good at Third Strike is Tommy Two Step. So, so that's all I got. There was a guy that used to live here in Austin who always went to what's that Third Strike event, the team event that happens every year in Japan. I'm blanking on the name. Co-op Cup. Co-op Cup. Co-op Cup. Yeah, there was a guy that lived here who was always like either like on the top 2 team or the winner for Third Strike. So Austin always has like.
Thinking about Ryan or Yuki.
No, man, I wish, dude, he was so cool. He would like when I was getting fat, he would always like tap my belly because he like the Buddha belly to get good luck. Shin, I think his name is. Hold on, I'm gonna actually go to Facebook right now. So I feel really bad that I can't. I'm blanking on their name.
I know that feeling.
God, I'm getting old and dumb. Well,
what character did he play? Was this person wearing a hat?
No, I don't
wearing
think
a suit.
I don't think he wore a hat, but I also don't remember who he played. I just remember he played everybody.
They were glasses.
He did have glasses.
Guess who here? Actually, I'm not describing anybody specifically.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Facebook to load up.
Did they wear a trench coat and a
Shinichi,
mask?
Yeah, Shinichi Tokunaga. Yeah, so Shin. Yeah, I was right. Okay, cool. I should just go with my gut. But yeah, he used to live here in Austin. He was really cool. And then he moved back to Japan for work. But Shinichi. That guy's dope.
Fubar Duck? I thought Fubar Duck was so cool until I played him in Street Fighter 5 back when it was laggy and we played on a laggy TV. He told me straight in my face that he thought Street Fighter 5 was better than Third Strike. Fubar Duck, you mean nothing to me anymore. And he played Armika.
Oh, he did play Armika. You're right. No, but Fubar Duck was the owner of Arcade UFO. Super cool guy. He's pretty cool. I remember he was the person who introduced me to Uber because I had never taken an Uber until I was at the first final round for Street Fighter 5, and we were all hanging out. He's like, "Oh, just get us an Uber to go to this Don Chon place in Atlanta." I was like, "What the fuck is Uber?"
Uber?
And then he had glasses that would take pictures of everything. It was cool. He's like a super like tech forward guy. Anyway, why did I go on that rant? I think the gummies are hitting. Let's hurry up. So I also have some picks for other games. So we both have a Street Fighter 6 pick. You have a Tekken, or you have a Third Strike pick, and I have 3 picks three like bracket picks. I have a Tekken 8 pick, a Guilty Gear Strive pick, and a Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising pick. And I was nice enough to even sit down and actually make a graphic for this. So here you go. These are my picks. All of the picks for our bet. So Street Fighter 6 here. I said Gachikun, Angry Bird, and Mena RD. For Tekken 8, I have Arslan Ash because, you can't pick against Arslan Ash. I have John Ding because John Ding just won or was second at the at Mix-Up. He's doing very well. And Mogold because Mogold is the first place on the Tekken leaderboard or on the Tekken World Tour leaderboard. Then we have Guilty Gear Strive all the way over there. My pick, of course, Tempest. This guy has been winning almost everything. He won EVO Japan. He won Combo Breaker. He just wins everything. Umisho is second place for me because I'm a big Umisho fan. I'm a big fan of her. So Umisho for me. And then third, the Lord, the coolest person to ever play any fighting game ever, Gobo. Have you watched Gobo play at all?
I've seen him smile.
Dude, he does like some weird like JoJo anime shit to like freak people out. It's awesome. It's awesome. But yeah, anyway, those three. I almost put Zondo in there, but I like Gobo over Zondo. Last but not least, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. I've been watching more of that game, and I've been like researching that game a little bit more. I'm starting to have some fun with it. Every time I play it, I have a blast. I just don't play it enough because I'm scared of liking anime. But my picks for Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising are Gamera for first place, Totoro for second place, and then America's Hero Zippy, just because I really like their name, and they've been doing really well, and they basically have been on like almost every top 3 from everything I've seen. But yeah, those are my picks: Gamera, Totoro, and Zippy. But yeah, so
I would say to my dog.
Say again, Zippy.
That's something I would say to my little one. What you doing? You zipping? Zippy!
So
my voice like half the time these days.
Dude, I understand. I used to have a cat. And like that would be the only thing I would speak to in some days. So I understand. But anyway, so these are my picks. So you have a set of picks. We both have a pick for Street Fighter 6. So if I don't get any of these right, I'm gonna owe you like 8 quesadilla. I'm gonna owe you 4 quesadilla.
Yeah.
So
these are servings, right? Different servings and not the tacos. Because the tacos themselves, you don't get a good deal. So you should probably get like 3. So I would suggest it'd be like 3-4 different servings for the 3 tacos. 12 quesadilla tacos. You know what I'm saying? And you get the rice and beans.
So what if I bought all of the ingredients for you to make quesadilla at home?
I will accept 2 of those. The other 2 must come from Fana Lupita.
Okay. All right, we'll work it out. So yeah, you have a lot of chances to win a lot of quesadillas. I have like 3 chances to win pizza. So, and that's like, and the reason why I did that is because like I've been sitting here just researching all day after I got off stream, just because I was like, damn, I really want to like figure this out, just like to see what would happen if I actually tried. Can I get a 100%? And I say this because every time Steve and I would make picks, I would always win. So, and every time we've made picks, I think with the exception of one time, you've always had the win. I think you've always won, except for one time, which I think was Combo Breaker, where we were like, the point system was like we were off by 5 points. It was super close.
Yeah, I just pick Duke Kevin, and I get quesadillas. It's pretty tight, actually.
Last but not least, before we wrap it up here, I said it was going to be an hour. A short show. I'm sorry, I'm going a little long. Last thing before we go, I want us to do like some predictions for what the news will be. And you brought it up earlier at the top of the show. It feels like everything's getting announced before EVO. It feels like there's so much that's been announced already and not a lot that they can announce. So what in the world are we going to see? What do you think?
I think there's a shard of chance. Could be a Marvel 4. Little logo or something. CVS 3 is looking like a possibility. But announcing those games, they're probably so far off. I don't know. Might be one of those cases where they're saying coming soon. No date, just the logo.
Yeah,
that's not very exciting either.
What they did with Garo.
Some kind of showcase of something.
Well, that's what they did with Garo, where they just like showed like
Yeah.
a graphic, and they were like, "It's in development now, bitches," and that was
With
2 years
Tekken
ago.
a little bit too with Tekken 8.
Yeah,
About the same thing. Tasty Steve pulling on somebody's arm.
yeah, and then Harada beating the shit out of somebody.
And Capcom's they kind of been experimenting lately with like non-flagship games. They have like a tactical strategy game coming out that just came out of nowhere. So maybe they're willing to do some like experiments.
Oh yeah,
Some kind of something.
yeah, I know. Oh, I know the game you're talking about. It's the one that like looked like it was gonna be like an Onimusha type thing, and then it wasn't.
Tower defense or something like that?
Yeah, yeah. So, okay. For Street Fighter 6, we're gonna get a Terry trailer, right? Like it's like we're at least gonna get like the intro to the world tour, like they did last year at EVO for Aki, right? Like I don't see anything else happening for Street Fighter unless they do like a Mai and a Terry trailer, or unless they like, you know what I think they're gonna do? What if they like show up with Cap Jams again, and instead of playing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for like a little bit too long, they play like Thundercats or some shit? That'd be sick. Like a Thundercats Street Fighter 6 crossover.
I guess the best advice for myself would be to not expect anything and not be disappointed at what you might think might happen.
Yeah, that's a good point. But like they have to announce something, right? Like there has to be something. And I say that because I say that completely contradicting your point, because like EVO is like the time, and I know we've been like these past couple years, things have been announced less at fighting game, like things for our fighting games have been announced less at fighting game events and more at like, you know, bigger things like, you know, the PlayStation State of Play or the Game Awards or whatever. But is it the end of announcing things at EVO?
Yeah, it could be. And I wonder how much it costs to do that, and if it's worth the investment. Because you may not get, you'll probably get the target audience, but it goes back to that Mortal Kombat thing. You're gonna get sort of the hardcore audience, and not really the uninitiated, and that's where the money's at.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's in their interest to host it at some kind of event that includes other, like a variety of things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the counterpoint to that, as far as like it not being worthy to, and you're absolutely right. That's probably their thought, but I think it would be worthy to announce something, especially for the target audience, because the viewership for EVO is always like gigantic, and the attendance for EVO, and like, you know, the after effects of EVO, of like people talking about it, etc. Right? Like we're getting to the point where like EVO is getting like millions of views. So.
Yeah. I wonder if that was okay. Street Fighter 6. That was the first Street Fighter 6 tournament at EVO, correct?
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, last year. 7,000.
Before that, we had Street Fighter 5.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, we had Street Fighter 5, and I don't think the viewership was that good as it was this. So that previous year, now they have the stats to show that we have great viewership. That could be more attractive to advertisers.
Yeah. So that'd be so interesting to like go from, oh, it's not worth it to advertising stuff in the FGC, to, oh, it's worth it to advertise things in the FGC.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We live in crazy times.
I mean, let's be honest. Street Fighter 5 was barely hanging on.
Yeah.
It had to go. It wasn't bad towards the end, but people, it was just kind of, by the time that it got good, I think a lot of people were tired of it.
Yeah. Yeah, 1,000%. No, and they did such a, you know, like the reception for this Street Fighter has been so ridiculous in a good way, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, if I look right now, the amount of players on Steam is more than the highest point of Street Fighter 5 ever was. Like the average player base, that just plays daily, is already than what Street Fighter 5's most played players ever were.
Yeah. No, and
easily. Yeah,
like, and it's crazy that they are doing the way they're announcing some of this stuff, even if it's just on like a Japanese broadcast. I don't know if you've ever seen like one of those like Capcom Next shows or whatever, where like we can't even get an English translation. I've started to notice that like some of the people coming on those shows are like actually big deals. Like there's like big deal comedians showing up to play Street Fighter. Like, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Japan is eating Street Fighter 6 up. It's a big deal over there.
Yeah. So, you know,
there was some mush on my monitor, and I thought there was something on my shirt. completely irrelevant. But
No, man.
like you mentioned the pimple on your face earlier, and
Yeah.
talked about how old I'm getting.
Yep.
I'm sorry. It's been a good show, man.
No, the pimple on the
Thanks for
monitor.
having me.
No, yeah. All right. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Well, next time we'll figure out who won the quesadillas or the pizzas, and we'll meet up after EVO.
Well, so we're chained together, man. We're gonna get back into that. I know y'all left me behind because
Yeah.
I was negligent.
Well, no, it was just a one time, and then 56K is traveling now, so like,
Okay.
yeah. And then I'm traveling for EVO, and like, who knows what's happening. But we'll get back on Unchained for sure. That was fun. And they fixed the game, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I posted it on the Discord. The patch notes were fixed the spinning crates in the city. That it was all desynced. They fixed it. So
That makes perfect sense.
mm-hmm.
Makes perfect sense. We're starting to look at each other like, hey, this ain't fun no more.
Yeah. So we'll get back to it. But anyway, this has been Best of 5. That's Automatic. You can find him at Automatic everywhere. I'm Elon. I'm from Best of 5. You can find me at Best of 5. Woo 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 woo. At Best of V Show everywhere. So that's gonna be it. Any final words for the peeps?
Nope.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Yep.
Thanks for having me.
You heard the man. Nope.